Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
Guys, to create a report, we have a task called Create Custom Report. This is my task. From here we will start. Now there are multiple reports in Workday. But out of that we are going to go through three. Simple report, advanced report and advanced report with web services. That's it. All the other reports are of advanced reporting sessions which I'm not going to touch. But if you know these three reports, you are good enough to go in the market. Later on, you can learn all the reports very easily if you understand these three things. Now I'm creating a report. If you see, it says report name. I'll put WD7 underscore simple report. And now in this, you have to select the type. You have got multiple options. Advanced composite metrics. Right. I'm starting with simple. And I'm sure that you have remembered what is data source. All of you. What is data source? Who can tell me? It helps in filtering the data. It is an entity which is used to create reports. Basically, the first answer is also right. Second answer is also right. Data source is the entity which helps you in creating the reports. And we use this data source because it reduces the runtime by giving us the exact data that we need. Every business object has a lot of data sources, and based on that, we will choose it. You remember, there are two types of data sources, simple and indexed, or standard and index. Right. What was the difference between standard and indexed data source? Standard means which is already built in Workday, and indexed means like we are filtering. Right? Both are already there in Workday. Simple. So, standard also and indexed also. Index helps you to get the data faster. There is no linear search in that. It goes to the exact location where you have the data located, and it is picking the data from there. Now I'm using a standard data source. I'm not using indexed because our tenant has very less data. Even if I use index or standard, it does not matter. All active and terminated workers. From where I'm getting this data source. Where have you seen this data source, guys? Worker business object, right? We have seen this in worker business object. This is a standard data source. And that's the reason it's saying clearing this checkbox enables you to select a non-indexed data source and non-indexed fields which might cause your report to run slower. In our case, there is less records. It will not make it slower. It will give the exact time even if I use an indexed data source. Now this is my report writer. In this you will see the report name. This is what we have created. Then we have report type, which is simple. Then I have got the data source, right? And we selected this when we were creating the report. Then it says data source type standard. And the primary business object is worker. A clear to all from where and how the values are coming. Is there anybody who has a confusion? Primary business object is a selected default or we have been selected. Tell me how that value has come. I have explained this. Since we have selected this data source, your voice is breaking. I am not able to hear you. I am not able to hear you. I cannot hear you. Can you hear me fine? I can able to hear you. Now you can able to hear me. It is better? Since we have selected data source, this primary business object came automatically. That is what I explained. When you select the data source accordingly, your business object will also come. Whatever your data source is, that becomes from where you are picking it up. That becomes your primary business object. This is the reason. These are the options we have to select, right? Like from standard, we have to select. It's not necessary that you have to select only from standard. I am choosing it from standard because I don't require index data source. You can choose anything. I've shown you that there are 60 plus data sources. You can select any data sources of your choice depending upon the requirement. This is the most used data source that we have. And that's the reason I have selected it. As a practical data source, we have to create. Otherwise, it will be default in the system. What did I explain when we were going into the business? Object, data source are predefined. It's already there in the system. And there are many data sources that you don't need to create anything. You remember it or you don't remember? Remembered. Alright? Wonderful. Now you see this section is basically called as report. Writer. What you see here is the field name. From where the field will come. Where did you see the fields? Business object, business object. The next thing is column heading override. Now what does this do? Suppose I am putting a field name and I don't like that name of the field. I want to put any of my name. I can override it in the report. Now I'll show it to you. Let's say I'm using first name. I don't like this. I'll say I'll put name. What it will do when the report will run, this name will be overridden by this. But this is just for your display purpose. That's the reason it says column heading override. This is the heading of the column which gets overridden by this particular name. Let's add another field. Let's say last name. I'm sorry. And let's add one more field. Alright, now I've selected 3 fields from worker business object. First name, last name, gender. Now as soon as I'll click on, I'll get 3 options. Run, test and done. You see that? Run, test and done. Yes. Each of these button has a rule. What is the rule? When you click on done, it will just save the report in your system. When you click on test, it will give you a sample record that whether the values are coming or not on your report. It will give you like 10 or 12 records, not more than that. And when you click on run, it will give you the complete record. I mean to say all the values as per your report. Let's test it. Let's see. Now you see, there are 10 items. Gender is there. Last name is there. And now instead of first name, what do you see? F doc. What did I say? That if you want to override any name, you can use that option. What I'll do? I'll just click on this action. Now go to custom report, edit, because it does not look good right now. You see, first name is here, other things are here. Now I'll arrange the column. I want this to be the first column. I'll put it at the top. Then I'll put the last name. I'll remove this. Override. I don't need it. And click on. And then I'll run it now. Let's see what happens. 729 item. Do you see that? There are only 729 employees in this tenant. First name, last name, gender, right. Now you see there are a lot of employees whose gender is not updated. There are a lot of blank values. Now, if the gender is not updated, which means it's not the right value, I want the gender to be removed. I want those employees to be removed from this report whose gender is not there. What I can do to remove the values from any report? What I have to apply? Gender is null. Then will not allow it to, display. That is true. What I have to do in that case? If it was an Excel sheet, what would you do? We can add a little condition. Sorry guys, one by one. I cannot clear any one of you. I will do remote right. I think we can filter, where gender is equal to null or will not. Actually, we can filter. What I will say. Here is the filter condition. Gender. In the selection list. Or I can just say, gender is not empty. It should not be empty. If the gender is empty, it will remove it. I'll click on and then click on run. Alright, now you see there are 1540 items and all the members in this report. They have gender now. Do you see that? No? Is that clear to all? It's very simple. Right? I'll now click on actions. And let's see. There is one more option for simple report. What we can do? We can go ahead and sort the data. Now, do you understand? What is the meaning of sorting? Can you explain? What is sorting? For example, like what alphabetical order? Or alphabet. I need the data as per some order. Now that can be ascending order, descending order. Depends upon my condition. When I want to sort the data, I will click on this option, sort. Click on this and say I want the name of the employees as per their age. Right? Age would be there for every employee or not. By default, it will take it ascending. I said no. I want it in descending order. What is the meaning of descending? Larger to smaller. The largest value will be on the top, and then it will start reducing. Let's see now. The number of records would not change. It will be 4, but the name has changed. Do you see that? How can we verify whether this, data which is coming here is correct or not? That was quite out. What we will do? We will go into the report, add another field, and I will put it at the bottom. Click on run. What is this? Right. Right. And it is decreasing. What does that indicate? What does that indicate? It is arranging descending order. This is sorted. In the descending order, the data is coming in the descending order. Descending order. This is how it works. Anybody has any questions? Up till now, is there anything that you have not understood? What is the difference between test and run? When you test the report, it gives you a sample, 10 record, to check whether the data that you need is coming or not. Let's do it. You will understand it. 10 is a fixed number. Does it always be only 10? Generally, you will see 10, it's fixed. And it could be any value. It is not necessary that. It will give you a fixed value. You see, there is 0 also. Do you see that? It is picking any value. Will it not be paying the sort value? Testing does not give you the sorted value. It just gives you the value, that whether any values are coming or not in the report. When you run it, it will give you the exact values as per your filter and as per your whatever order you have selected. You see that. Now let's say I want to edit and I want to make some changes. I want to go in the ascending order. I don't want descending. I want use the descending. Now you will see that there are employees with AG also. Does it mean that their age is not entered into the data? Something is there. This is all dummy data. You know that. This is not the real information. After there's 23. If you see this is unwanted data in the system people have created. Employees or users who does not have anything valid, right? That's the reason you see that kind of value. Now what I can do, I can add another filter and remove this. I don't need these values here, right? If I don't want to see these values, what I can do, I can go ahead, click on filter again, add another filter and say greater than equal to anything which is below 18. You cannot allow them to work, right? If it means the values are not there. I don't want to see those values. It will further reduce it. The number has gone to 476 now. Do you get it? How the simple report functions? Right. This is how you actually build reports in Workday. Tell me. Once you click done, you will not able to edit it. You have to search the report. Let me show you. Click on. It is just running in front of you. Right? I hope everybody has. Go ahead, creating a report once I close it. Do we have any specific thing to pull the report? I have closed it. I am now in my home screen. That is what you wanted. Now, how will I go back? I will have to search the report. What was the report name? BV underscore WD7 underscore simple report. Right. I will just use it. Small doubt. Say at last you have clicked on done. Right. Say when you clicked on done. I mean that is action is done or you have to again click on run. If it is click on run only it will show. Running basically means that it will start to get the value from the system. It will search it from the beginning. What is the final option to make it run? I mean to make it a complete action. Done or run? Both are equal. Running means you are running the entire value. You know value in the sense that you are basically created the report. Now you are running it as per the requirement. Once you run it, it's all done. If you don't want to run it, you just want to click on done. That also will. At the end of the day, it will run the report, but it will save it as well. One more question. In the filter, you know the field was gender and most of the field was empty. When we edited it and we have written is not empty, that means the gender which is not mentioned, all have gone. Right? We cannot say that. Right? Those values are not there. Not there. That's the reason from 7 to 9 it came to 5 report. And then we removed those employees also whose age was 0. And now it is in 476 from Saturday night. Thank you. Is simple report clear to all? How does that work? Anybody has any questions on this? It's very easy, guys. If you see, it is very easy. Just need to follow the steps. Only thing is, you cannot write query. That is the only problem that you have in Workday. Otherwise, you can easily create reports without any issues. Now, as simple reports are clear, we will go into the advanced report. Create. What is the task? Create custom report. Custom report. Custom report. Again, I have a report name. I will say abdisaf underscore advanced. From here, I will choose the option as advanced. Now you see it says enable as a web service. Now that I will use at a third report. I am not going to create anything with this option, data source. I am removing it. Let's use the same data source because we know the values are coming there. All active and terminated workers. Click on. Now you will see a lot of options. At the top, everything is same. Report name type data source a data source type. Primary business object. What options do you see more? We are creating custom report, right? We will only create custom report. We cannot create standard report. The next two options are subfilter from output. The first question. Your question, I could not understand. You said we are creating custom report and you put advanced report name as advanced. I am sorry, but I think there is some confusion. When I explained reports, what are the two types of reports you have? Standard and custom. Standard and custom, who creates a standard report? Work, who creates a custom report? We, the user, the user. Right. We as a user are going to create custom reports. Now, what are the different type of custom reports? Advanced report, simple report. Advanced report, trending report, search report. All these are custom reports. Whenever we have to create a report, it will always be a custom report only. You cannot create a standard report. Now, when you create a custom report, you will select which type of report you want to create. The last time we created simple. Now we are creating advanced. Advanced. Is that clear? Advanced is just telling us that it has more. We can customize it more and more. That's the only difference. That's not the only difference. There are multiple options that you will see. Of course, it is going to give you more options. There are more things that you will learn. In simple report, you were able to see only one option, which was worker. And here you have different thing that you see. Here you are getting a column of business object also. Remaining, whatever you see is very same to the simple report. Business object field column heading override. Now, what are the options you see? You saw in simple report, column sort and filter. Now, here you are seeing subfilter, prompts output, share and advanced. With the help of advanced reports, you can use related business objects as well in your reports. In simple report, you can only pull the data from one business object. In advanced report, you can pull the data from multiple business objects. Click. The major difference, is that clear? Let's quickly try to put the same field that I used in simple report. This will come. This advanced or simple report requirement will come from the client, right? That's what exactly. They will not tell you that what kind of report they want. They will tell you that I need the data, all these information. It is you who has to decide what kind of report will give that data. The basis in the data source. Is it a radio button? Like you are selecting only one data source, but you have multiple business objects. No, I don't have multiple business objects. You need to. You can select multiple data source. You will have to choose only one data source. Then why we have business object as an option here? That I will explain you. When you went in the worker, you saw related business objects as a tab or not? When you were in the worker, what does that mean? If you have a related, the fields are common. There are a lot of fields which are common, right? I can pull all those fields in my advanced report. Let's say I have job profile, right? I have a relationship with worker and job profile, right? All those fields of job profile I can pull here. Let's say compensation grade. You have this value in your job profile. Am I correct? You see what I'm trying to pull now. Let's say I have one more business object dependence. What do you understand by dependence? What do you understand by dependence? Guys, what do you understand by dependence? Benefit, dependence. Family member. Dependents are the people whom you have declared in the system who lives with you. Or who are dependent on you for their expenses. You might have your spouse. You might have your children. You might have your parents who are dependents. Oh yes, I have pulled that as a business object. And what I'm saying here, I need to know gender of dependent. How many male dependents are there? How many female dependents are there? I'll just say I'm overriding it because you will have two gender, which will cause confusion. I dependent as a business object. Field gender. I have overridden this with gender of dependence. This field is going to show you the value which is of your dependent. I'll put it at the top. I'll arrange the field that I'll have a proper report. First name, last. I got first name. Last, I'll put the gender of the worker and then I would job profile as a business object which will show compensation grade and then the dependent information which is going to show me the gender of dependents. I don't know. I have seen that there are a lot of employees who don't have gender. It is blank, right? What I'll do, I'll put the field. I'm putting the filter again, which is gender is not equal to. What was the condition, guys? Not it. Gender is not empty, right? I can go ahead and click on it. I'll get the three options. And done. Let's click on done. Let's see what happens. You got fourth. This is simple report. Do you remember? This is my simple report, which I ran just few minutes back. Now what happened? That report got saved. Because I did not run it. It just got saved. Now you know what is the use of done. Because someone asked that question to me. I got it. Now you see, I am going into advanced. Now you see, it is running and it is giving me 66 item. This is my person, Loganil, who is a female. And you see how many dependents she has. 2, 3, 4. 2 and 2 male dependent. Right? Are you getting the point? What the values are being displayed now? All of you are clear how the advanced report runs. How the advanced report works? Devash. In real-time scenario, we will be having many data sources, many business objects, many what? Many what? Many data sources and business objects. Then how does a person come to know that which data source to select, which business object? Comes with practice. Without that, you cannot come to know which you have to select and what you have not to select. I did not see the data source. Did I see the data source before creating the report? How did I come to know that all active and terminated worker will be the best data source for you guys? Because of my practice. That is how you will also gain the knowledge. What you need to understand is what fields are required for my report. From where I will get the field, you will have to get into the business object. Right? If I am into the business object, I will look at the data source. All the data source. I will have to check and try to find out the best possible data source by reading the description. Once I have understood the description, I will pick the right data source for me. Got. There is no shortcut here. It is all about practice. You see, I have got 3 fields from which business object, worker, what, work. And in this report, worker is what? Primary business object. Primary business object. Primary business object. Excellent. And this compensation grade is coming from which business object? Job profile. Job profile is what? Related business object. And these values are coming from which business object? Dependence. Dependent is also a related business object. Related business object. Is it clear to all? How am I able to pull the values from different business object? Right. Now you see, compensation grade is blank. Let's see if there is any person who has any value. There is one. For one, Betty Lee. There is sales management. Right. I don't want this compensation grade to be empty. What I will do now? Fill. But where? On compensation grade. Well, that's what we have to go to actions. Action. I'll do that. Alright. Now tell me. We will go to filter. Software. There is a rule now. We all have to remember. What is the rule? The filter can be only applied on the fields of a primary business objects, not the related business object. Not the related business object. What we are doing here is, we want the compensation grade to be removed for those employees whose it is blank. I don't want to display those values, correct or no? If I have to remove those, I cannot add a filter. Compensation grade field is coming from related business object, related business object. For that purpose, Workday has given another option that you use subfilter are applied on the field of related business object. Clear to all. If I have to add a subfilter, I will click on this. Now you see, what does it show? It gives you only the option. Right. What it will add? Let's click on it. It's asking which business object you want to use. Which business object? I have to add a subfilter. Job profile, job profile, job profile, job profile, compensation grade, compensation grade. Compensation grade is a field or a business object. Job profile. Job profile is a business object. It's a field, like a business object. Job profile. All the fields of job profile I can use as a subfilter. What I have to put here? Compensation. Compensation grade. Now, what is the operator you want to put? Is not empty. That is all. Right? That is what we wanted. The compensation grade should not be empty, which is coming from job profile. And like here, we have one more related business object called dependent, right? If we want to filter out of dependence also, can we use here only at a time? Like we can choose one more business object here. Is there any option? If I have to add another business object, I will have to click on add and add that other business object. But right now, I am only talking about compensation grade, which is not empty. I want those values to be removed, which is empty, correct. I will go ahead and click on. And now what I will do? What am I going to do? Let me know if you see any change in the value. Do you see any changes in the value? 6. And compass is already showing empty also for Logan. And not only for Logan, but for all those people. That was empty before also. And now also it is empty. Now there is a catch. Now this is where there is a limitation. What is the limitation, guys? The limitation here is primary business object filter is always given the precedence and the subfilter is work. If the primary business object has a field and there is a field in related business object, it will display it. Irrespective of the subfilter, what I am trying to say is there is no relationship between a filter and a subfilter because filter is running separately and subfilter is running separately. That is what we saw. Filter is running separately and subfilter is running separately. But why there is an option with a subfilter? If you cannot do that, we will discuss later. But what I am explaining you, first try to understand that. The precedence, remember the rule. That is what you have to remember, that it gives you an answer. What is the rule? Precedence, or which is going to run, will come from the primary business object. Now, what is my primary business object here? Work. What are the fields which are from worker? First name, last name, gender. When this report is going to run, the importance is given to the fields of the primary business object and the value of corresponding business objects, or the value of the corresponding field, which is from the related business object, will be displayed. Irrespective of your subfilter. What does that mean? If Logan, who is a female, has a compensation grade, it is fine. If they don't have a compensation grade, it will still display it, even if it is blank. Does it make sense? I know this might be confusing. What did I say? Actually, but what did I say? Remember the rule. This rule is what you have to remember. What is the filter? Where exactly is the filter? Is the filter primary business object? Gender is not a worker. The filter is applied on gender. Gender is coming from which business object? What? Primary business object. Primary business object. Work. What did I say? The importance or precedence will be given on the field of primary business object. What are the fields of primary business object? First name, last name, gender. This filter is applied on these things. The next rule. Once the value of primary business object is displayed, the corresponding field value of related business object will also be displayed irrespective of the subfilter. If Logan McNeil, who is a female, is displayed, then the corresponding value of compensation grade will be displayed. Even if it is blank, it does not matter. Does that make sense? Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.